Kaya Gerber seemingly just went red carpet official with Lewis Pullman. Alright, well, I hope you guys are ready for another sticky note deep dive. Now, today we are going to be talking about model and actress Kaya Gerber's dating history. Now, if you don't know who Kaya Gerber is, she is Cindy Crawford and Randy Gerber's daughter. Now, Randy was also a model, Cindy was a model, so obviously Kaya is absolutely gorgeous. Now, she has been modeling since she was a little girl. Honestly, I think I found her on Instagram when she was like maybe 16 or 17. She might have actually even been younger. I'm not 1,000,000% sure on that, but I have been slowly following her Instagram and watching her career blossom into what it is today. Now, she was in the movie Bottoms. She was also in the Saturday Night Live movie, and I know that she has made cameos and done a splattering of other projects as well. However, she also has a book club on Instagram called Library Science, and she actually does interviews with authors, and she seems like a very intelligent person. Like, she genuinely enjoys learning and talking with people and just getting different ideas from other people, which is really cool. So let's jump into her dating history now. So the first person that we know Kaya dated was Wellington Grant in 2019. Now, he is also a model. It was never confirmed, but they were seen holding hands and of course would go to different shows together and whatnot. Then she dated Pete Davidson from October 2019 to January 2020. Now, keep in mind, some of these dates are a little hazy. Different sources say different dates and whatnot, so I try to get it as close as I possibly could. Now, they were linked when he was seen leaving her New York City apartment. They had been friends for quite a while, and honestly, everyone kind of liked them together. Like, nobody really seemingly said anything negative about them. They were seen going out and about on dates. However, when they broke up, Pete did talk about it to Charlemagne the God.
Kaya.
Yes.
Kaya.
Yeah, KG.
She said it got very overwhelming for her.
Yeah.
And she said Pete has a certain MO and he's very intense to his girlfriends.
Yeah, well, we were dating for a few months, and, she's very young. And, I'm fucking going through a lot, and I was before I was going to rehab, and, she has stuff going on. It's just like she should be having fun and shit, she shouldn't have to worry about like some dude that just like has issues and shit. She should be enjoying her work and all that other shit. So it just wasn't like the right place or the right time at all. Also, like, her parents were really helpful and stuff, so they're all cool.
So when Kaya, what do you call her,
KG.
KG. When KG joked about being pregnant recently,
yeah,
on Instagram, did you believe she was pregnant when you saw it?
No, I think she's smart. She's smarter than a lot of people. She gets tabloided up too. So like, her and Bieber like to put shit out like that. Like how like Bieber and Haley were playing basketball and he like yelled at her and it was clearly them joking. But like Page Six was like, fucking monster with a mustache, Justin Bieber. And it's like, no, dude, they're fucking playing around. So yeah, that was just her being funny.
But you said you wanted that though.
Fuck yeah,
So if she's playing like that, she's kind of playing with your emotions a little bit.
Maybe. I like to try and not read it into that. I'd like to think that she wouldn't do that. But like, hey man, anyone could have it. Anyone could have my child.
So I'm gonna name some names of some women you've been in relationships with. You just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. You can say as much as you want, as little as you want. KG.
Beautiful, smarter than me. Yeah, if anyone was worried that I was too smart or like advanced for her, they do not have to worry at all. She was way, way smarter than I was.
So in the end, honestly, it seems like a pretty amicable breakup, I would say. And then she dated Jacob Elordi from September 2020 to November 2021. Now, they were pretty low key and again had an amicable breakup. They had again been friends and then started hanging out one-on-one together. We did get quite a few photos of them together, and she went to different premieres with him. Now he is on Euphoria. He's been in quite a few movies, Netflix movies. The Kissing Booth, if you guys remember him from that, which I'm really glad that now he's moved on to bigger things because he really is a talented actor, I think personally. And then one of her longest confirmed relationships was with Austin Butler from December 2021 to December 2024. So they dated a good solid 3 years. However, in January, a TMZ reported that they'd been broken up before the new year, with a source saying the relationship just simply ran its course after a good 3 years together. Now, her newest relationship is with Lewis Pullman. They have been dating since maybe early December 2024. However, they didn't go public with their relationship until early 2025 because they wanted to wait until the news of Kaya's breakup with Austin Butler had like gone public. It is interesting how celebrities are able to sort of keep it quiet until they're seen with somebody else, and it is kind of interesting how they seem to have different tactics when going about it. Some release statements together, some release statements separately, some just break up, never say anything about it for a few months. They're seen out and about, like by themselves with no partners, no nothing, and then all of a sudden they're with somebody else. Some people, you know, like I said, do announce it. It's just really interesting that when you're a celebrity, that's something that either you can be public about or you can just let speculation grow, and then it seems like you almost get more and more people talking about it and trying to decipher like when things happened. I really personally don't know which is the better way to go about it. Personally, I think I just like probably wouldn't say anything until like months later, and then maybe I'd be like, oh yeah, we broke up, it's chill though, and just kind of leave it at that. But that's just me personally. Everyone has their own way about it. Now, Dumois posted about a Cabo sighting in January, and the post read, Kaya Gerber's Cabo getaway, New Year and a Glenn Powell connection. We might have just identified one of the mystery men in Kaya Gerber's vacation crew. A Dumois reader spotted Gerber and Lewis Pullman at Ye Rustic Inn in Los Feliz with two other friends after her Cabo vacation. Interestingly, Pullman was wearing a hat that looked strikingly similar to the one worn by one of the unidentified men in the Cabo paparazzi photos. And guess what? There's a picture of Pullman online sporting what appears to be the very same hat. Coincidence? While we can't confirm with 100% certainty that Pullman was indeed part of Gerber's Cabo crew, the evidence is certainly compelling. The text tip said she was with Lewis Pullman at a bar in Los Feliz, and he was wearing the same hat as the guy in the beach pic. Kaya Gerber kicked off 2025 with a sun-soaked getaway to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. But it wasn't just beaches and sunshine this holiday. The model was spotted with Travis Jackson and Nick Hargrove. But the plot thickens. Gerber was also seen chatting it up with none other than Glenn Powell at a New Year's Eve party. Our Dumois source spotted Gerber and Powell amidst the festive celebrations. While the details of their exchange remain a mystery, their interaction has certainly piqued our curiosity. A separate Dumois source caught Powell at the airport, so we can confirm he was in Mexico. Gerber, who has dated Austin Butler, always keeps her love life relatively low-key. Jackson, a musician, and Hargrove, an actor, both seem to be keeping the model-actress company while Butler was nowhere to be seen. And then there's more texts that say, Kaya Gerber spotted in Cabo with Glenn Powell at a New Year's Eve party yesterday. Mexa camp party. Were they together? She was just there for a second, but it seemed like it, not quite sure. Did she leave and he stayed? I didn't see them again after, but maybe she broke up. There was a photo of Glenn Powell and a text that said, Glenn Powell on my flight to Cabo, so nice and taking pics with anyone who asked. My friend sat directly behind him and he said, wait until we're off and we'll get a pic. And he did. And then there's just photos of Kaya vacationing on the beach. And then Kaya was photographed attending his birthday party. Honestly, they are pretty low-key, and they made their red carpet debut at the Venice Film Festival just recently in September. So that's kind of cool. However, I was like, yo, who even is Lewis Pullman? I have no idea who this cat is. So his dad is actor Bill Pullman. Honestly, his face is very familiar, and I know he's been in a lot of like really good movies. However, that is not a name that just like jumps out out to me. So Kaya is 23 years old and Lewis is 32 years old. Their like ages are literally just reversed. Oh my god. For some reason, I thought she was like closer to my age. I'm 26. She's only 23. And she has been linked to a lot of older men. And Cindy Crawford actually did make a statement saying something like, yeah, you know, we didn't really have a lot of disagreements or problems when she was a teenager, but now, you know, there's just some things that we disagree on, and we've just sort of figured that we need to let our kids be kids and let them figure their own lives out, which is really interesting. And with celebrity kids, you just never know how it's gonna shake out, but it does seem like a lot of famous women tend to go for older men, which is a little bit interesting. Now, personally, I've always been into older guys, so I do get it, and genuinely no judgment from me here because their age gap really isn't that bad. It's like, what, 9 years? Big whoop. I don't know. However, Lewis is a fellow actor. He has been in movies like Bad Times at El Royale, The Strangers, Pray at Night, Top Gun, Maverick, and the TV show Lessons in Chemistry. He's also a drummer in the band Atta Boy, which is kind of interesting. Now, Lewis has said that growing up, they didn't watch much for TV. They did have a house in California and also Montana. Them not watching TV was sort of a rule that their parents implemented because they wanted to give them a chance to live as normal of a life or as a childhood as they possibly could. Bill's job was, I guess, like somewhat of a mystery to the kids. They kind of knew what he did, but like not really, which that too is very interesting. And I've heard of many other actors or famous musicians or artists who have done the same thing with their kids just to try to get them to lead a more normal life where the kids maybe know that, oh, mom or dad has a public job. It's kind of out there in front of the whole world, but I don't really know what it totally entails, which is very interesting. And Lewis has said that the whole family is really a bunch of different like artist types, like they're very creative, which is super cool. And it's just funny that he, even though he never really watched much for TV growing up, still ended up acting. He said that he found acting in high school and then just sort of, you know, went through high school loving it and decided to make a career out of it. Now, obviously at that time, I'm sure he knew what his dad did, but you know. Anyways, so that is Kaya Gerber's new relationship, as well as a very brief history of her dating life in the past. I know this video is a little bit different than what I typically post, but I just thought it was kind of fun to talk a little bit about. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to leave a comment what your thoughts are on this whole new relationship, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!